BNI one-to-one with Triple M Productions, Marty Meisner, action.
So here we are in Triple M's podcast studio. Yesterday we had Veronica. Last week we had George. And today we have Divya Jain. Divya, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody who you are and what you do and the name of your business?
So I'm Divya Jain with Team Logic IT. We do everything to keep your business safe from any cyber breaches and keep your productive from any downtime that can be caused by any kind of IT issues. So we are there for you.
So I always wanted to know so you've been in our BNI chapter for 3 years?
For 3 years.
So this is your going on when do you renew?
I just renewed end of August.
Okay.
Yep.
So is this your fourth year or this is your third?
No, fourth.
Fourth year.
Fourth year with this chapter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I think this is my second year. So I think in June I renew and it'll be my third year.
Yep. I remember like you came to barbecue at my place.
Right.
That was, you had just joined the chapter.
Right. Yep. That's right. That was awesome too. What a great little get together and gathering.
Yep.
Yeah. And your husband's such an awesome cook. Well, I want to know. So I want to know how long you've been in Vancouver.
23 years.
23 years. And you have two daughters too, two amazing daughters.
Yes, two daughters. They're grown up.
Yeah.
And out of the house.
And they were born here, right? Both of them?
Not here, but in U.S.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long have you been with in IT?
Oh, gosh, it's a long time. So my background is project management. And before starting this Team Logic IT, I was working as a project manager, leading IT projects, and my specialty area was business continuity and disaster management. So that included like making sure that we have enough, right data backups in the right places in cloud or wherever we need to. That's one big part of the disaster management and business continuity, that data is protected. And if any kind of disaster happens, whether man-made or natural, terrorist attack, anything, you have your data and you can be up and running in short time.
So how long have you been in IT?
About 10 to 15 years.
10 to 15. What got you into it? So you said you had a previous job where you were a project manager?
Yeah.
For IT services?
Yeah, I was leading the IT projects.
Okay.
Yeah. So worked with the Bonneville Power Administration for a long time. And before that, I was working with a company in Portland, and they they do like how you go on the flight, like when you're flying, flight status, you check all of that.
Uh-huh.
So that company used to do that.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So keeps you on time, or lets you know when if the flight is getting delayed or gates changing. So that was pretty the timing had to be very perfect. So I did a huge project for them, server migration to Amazon Cloud.
Oh,
And it was quite a project. Like we relocated kind of 21 servers
21 servers
to cloud, Amazon Cloud, and had to be done in about phases. So we were looking at 3 servers at a time.
How big is a server?
Well, server depends on the data capacity, but we were basically looking at the client applications. So whenever the client applications were in the downtime, that was the perfect time to do the migration. So we used to prepare everything prior to that, like downtime time. so that we have a good applications in downtime and migration does not disturb the data.
So I'm just fascinated with what you do because it's so foreign to me to think. I mean, I know what a server is, and in fact, I'll probably talk to you because I need to get like a server
Okay.
that I can be able to connect to or have
Hmm.
some team members be able to access files and stuff and then edit for me and then load them back on. So, which is a NAS, like a NAS
Oh yeah, sure.
network access server.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So we'll chat about that later.
Sure.
But so what got you into this? Like, I mean, it's so techy. So do you find yourself to be a very tech person? Like you like the tech aspect?
Well, I mean, my passion was to help people and helping people in this way that, like, they can run their business properly and having their data secured. And cybersecurity has been very, critical. And that is one really big part of the disaster management.
Hmm.
So that has always been, like, my thing, that I want to help people, like, in any ways that I can. And this was like, because of my job, it became my passion. And then um, I got like tired of driving to Portland.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't blame you.
So I thought there's no other way. Like, you owning a business, you can be on your own boss. Nobody asks you like when you're coming, when you're going. But I didn't think about it that I don't have work hours.
Yeah. Right. It's funny. We always say like being self-employed or owning your own business is so much less stressful because you don't have to answer to anybody. But I don't know about you, but I find myself like working 7 days a week, and maybe one day I'll work, 5 hours, and then next day maybe try to take a few, you know,
Yeah.
hours or days off. But I think I work more since owning my own business than I did for somebody else.
Well, that's true. And uh, that's the same story with me too. But still, it gives me a satisfaction that I'm able to help people with
Yeah.
no restrictions
Yeah.
on me. When you are working for someone else, you don't have that kind of a freedom. That and now I have the freedom. I have, I know what I'm doing. I know, what I'm recommending to people is good for them.
Yeah.
And like today also, I had two meetings with two new prospective clients. And we're kind of looking like, our recommendations. So they are they were asking a lot of questions, kind of able to um, answer them pretty well. And they seems to be looking very satisfied.
That's
And
good.
but they still, need to discuss the things internally, and some projects that they have maybe upcoming shortly. So sometimes what happens, like, some people want to test our, our capabilities through small projects rather than giving the whole contract.
Okay.
So, well, we don't mind that. Like, yeah, I mean, when we know that when we can excel that, and if we know that yes, we can do something like that, it's always, satisfying, and kind of we give them the best we can.
Are there a lot of are there a lot of IT companies out
Yes.
there?
Yes.
So why did you choose Team Logic?
Oh, so a lot of other companies, they are um, they've total, from scratch. They do everything, their own website, their own marketing, their own um, development of any kind of, print material, website material, everything they have to, do for their marketing, plus their business, plus getting the all the sources, contract development, like contracts have to be legally um, um, looked at by legal counsel or somebody that so I felt that I don't want to reinvent the whole wheel. So for that purpose, like it was pretty like I was looking for franchise, and in IT field there are only two field franchise,
Oh, really?
yeah, across the country, and so Team Logic, and there is another one. So
We won't say
but
their name.
like we got like um, this felt like a family.
Yeah.
So here we meet like as a whole of Team Logic. We meet once a year, and there are so many ways that we connect with each other. So it's kind of like family. We help out each other, and from anywhere in the country, if I need something and I know that yes, these resources or this expertise is available in that part of the country, I just reach out to the owners and request them, and yes, everybody is so willing to help.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good when you have, you have a work family.
Yeah.
You're your own boss. You own your own business, and
Yeah.
then you have a family that you can rely on to help out wherever you need.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And your
And
passion is helping people.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then our corporate office like does all our marketing and like lots of print material. We get it from, they design it, we just get it and do it, use it. Our website is designed and kind of maintained by our corporate office. And there are many other things, and like yes, they do have legal department also,
Yeah.
that whatever the language should be there in any of the contracts, so they put all the language, and they also advise us that what parts you should be able to change, and these are the parts that please do not change, because again, legal aspect of the
Sure.
contracts. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
What are some of, like, what's the smallest um what's kind of the smallest project for a client that you can be able to take care of and work on, and what's one of the largest? I remember our last one-to-one that we had, you were telling me about moving a huge server to another a new location.
yeah. So actually, in past like recent few months, we have done quite a few projects. So one huge was very critical for the success and for the making sure everything is working. So this client of ours was moving from one office to another, and they have a very complex environment. So they have three servers and a firewall, NAS, and whatnot. Like um, so we had to kind of make sure that everything is and then working, everything moves to the new location and connection, and that location have was kind of temporary for a couple of months, and then they were to make a second move in a few months across the hallway. So two moves. So had to
That's like, and there, that's probably like a lot of wires and
yes.
connections. And I remember when we first got this space, Mickey and I, and it used to be a veterinary clinic,
Oh, okay.
and which was Pause Clause, which is now over
Oh,
on
yeah, yeah.
162nd. Um, but the back room, which is now where a naturopath and a massage therapist have
Mm-hmm.
their room. But the whole wall was like all the telecom stuff that was connected, and all these wires and WAN and LAN lines and everything going into this huge thing on the wall. And I was like, what is all this? I don't even know. But I'm sure for you, like, because I know servers can be really small with just storage, or they can be huge like refrigerators, right?
Well, no, it can. Those are like still servers can be like as in a desktop
Okay.
forms, or the rack. So rack ones are like about this and this,
All
but
right.
the what you see as a refrigerator, that is a rack.
A bunch of
Yeah,
units in a
yeah,
rack.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So we can place like APC unit like UPS,
Mhm.
firewall, servers, and a couple of other things like Comcast unit also can go on it, and plenty of things like that.
Have you ever seen like Mission Impossible movies?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like when they go into the server room and it's like all those racks of. Have you
Yes.
ever done anything like that?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yep. So uh, I was at like mhm, BPA, and then they like it's a data center, and there are rows and rows of servers. Like, so one side is all, and the back side is all so much of cables. So it's all like you go in, and it's like you can see the pictures that are pretty
Yeah.
similar, like just the same. If you
It's all clean on one side, but on the other
yes.
side, it's like the back of my desk, or
Well,
worse.
no, actually, so we get like a lot of short, mm, different size of cables. So the smallest we have is about um, 6 inch or 10 inch. So kind of when there is a short connection that we have to do, we just use the shorter ones.
Okay.
So that makes it look nice.
Right.
Yeah. So sometime I'll send you some pictures of server room cleanups and organizations
Oh
that
yeah,
we have done.
that'd be cool.
Yeah. So what it was before, like kind of a jumble of cables, and then after that cleanup, it looked pretty nice and clean. And it's not just like just making it look nice, but the purpose of it is when something happens, you're not searching for okay what cable goes where.
Sure.
So and then when we clean this up, we label them label it correctly, kind of like sometimes we tie them correct together, so it's not looking very bad. Plus okay, these are the cables, this set of cables is bunched together, it is going in one place.
I have OCD with like cable management. I and I think it was from when I started playing in music and everything, and all the cords, the audio cables and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
but and maybe it's just because I'm older now, so I get more set in my ways. But I like things to look a certain way, and so I tend to tie a bunch of cables together, keep them separate from the audio cable. Like even all this stuff, it's like I I don't even know how many things I have plugged in. Maybe 20 things are plugged in
Mm-hmm.
to power strips, and but that was all organized at one point, and then just last week I had to pull a bunch of gear down for one of my shoots that I was on. And so now all the cables look like that. But normally you couldn't see all those, and it drives me nuts. So that's the OCD in me. I'm like, "Oh no, I got to clean all that up." But I don't worry about it right now.
Yeah, I'll send you some before and after
Okay.
pictures of our server room cleanup.
Yeah,
So
it
yeah,
probably just looks like a
yeah. So that was a huge project, and it took we had to make sure that when we are moving the server from one building to another, it during the transport, if any of the parts can be on the vehicle, can go up and down
oh
a
yeah.
little bit. So those vibrations can damage the data. So we always pack the server in a static cover.
It's backed up. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
So it protects those servers. Yeah, that was like first time I
Have you ever
explored.
lost data? No, we don't need to go there. We don't want to. We don't want to have that on camera.
No, actually, in our work we have not lost, and we have.
That's great. See, did you hear that? She's never lost any of her clients' data.
Yep. And actually, currently we are kind of talking to a prospective client that this morning I had. So 2 years ago, their server crashed, and QuickBooks data.
Oh
They lost 6 months of QuickBooks data,
no. Oh,
which and that was 2 years ago, and that is still haunting them.
I'll bet.
Yeah. So because something when they want to link together or something, they can't find those 6 months worth of invoices, or how it is leading.
That's probably one thing. Like, I still have some friends that try to use like Adobe products, like on DVDs,
Hmm.
and they don't update or because everything's cloud based now, like
Yeah.
with subscriptions and everything else. So, but for QuickBooks, like that could, like if they had a lot of clients, like I'm thinking bookkeeper, and I'm thinking, ooh, did they lose a lot of?
Yes. And for any retail, QuickBooks is important because everything is going, every sale, every purchase is going through the QuickBooks.
Yeah,
So QuickBooks data is really very important. And both my prospective clients this morning I talked, and they both have QuickBooks issues. And QuickBooks is kind of having a big update coming up pretty soon. So a lot of people are getting anxious about it.
yeah. That's why you got to call Divya, Team Logic. You don't want to lose your QuickBooks data, people.
Yep. And I came from one meeting, and I called Jaren and I told him about this QuickBooks update. Oh, that's the easiest thing of all. So he knows what he's doing, and he'll be able to get it done pretty quick for
Yeah,
them. Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
Well, tell me, let's talk about personal stuff. Like, where are you originally from, and what do you love to do?
Um, I'm from India, and well, is love to do. Okay, the basic is helping people.
Hmm.
Okay, and how I'm loving to do that, like can change from time to time. So when my kiddos were going to school, like elementary, so I was kind of finding some gaps in education and how I studied and the things I could not find here. And so I thought, oh no, these are the things. If I want to teach my kiddos and teaching them just separately at home, uh, it's not that possible. They don't, one, they don't get like time if they are. So then I thought, okay, let me do things in a way that I can, like their whole class can learn. And then from that, like I thought, okay, this one program that I built for their elementary school, then we got the whole school on it. That was the Geography Passport Club. I uh, developed and initiated and like managed that program for 5 years. That was, and along with many other programs at the school. So, you know, when you say that OCD,
Hmm.
so I have that kind of a thing when I see something um, and I feel like, kids can do more or some, like, in any other ways also. Like, um, I see something that is not right. I will just keep doing until we achieve it.
That's awesome. That's good. And I remember that was well, that was our very first one-to-one. You were telling me what you did with the school district,
Yep.
and that was with Evergreen School District
Yes.
first, right?
Yes.
Did other school districts implement it, or was it just for Evergreen?
No, it was just for Evergreen School District. And that's also a lot because
Oh
school
yeah,
district is,
it's big.
yep, this is sixth largest district in the state.
Yeah, in the country.
No, in the state.
Oh, I
Oh,
thought it was something like ninth in the country. I don't
um,
remember because I worked there too for 8.5 years.
oh, okay. So that part I don't know, but I know for sure this is sixth largest school district in Washington State.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's a big school district.
So that's why, like, but I kind of like, this program was getting spread by the word of mouth, whether teachers or some parents. So develop the program in the elementary level kids. Like my thing was kids when they are young, they can absorb more, they can learn quicker, and if we don't give them the exposure, they will not, like they will not know anything. So exposing them to more things, and then they can choose on their own. However, wherever their interest is going, they can, like proceed in that direction. But if we are not even exposing them to anything, then how can they learn?
Yeah,
How can they find their passion? So I and through this program, they were learning about 196 countries of the world in elementary school.
that's amazing. That's one thing that our education system, like for me, I took, well, it wasn't, you know, wasn't that big of a deal, but I took 2 years of French.
Wow.
But in European countries like Norway, they have to learn English all the way through high school until they're done, right?
Yeah.
So they take English all through, and I think that's how it should be. Everybody should learn another language or
Right.
two, or two.
Yes, absolutely. So another like fact that like I don't know why this education system does not understand. A child until the age of 13, they can learn up to 8 languages at a time. And over here in United States, like kids are not even exposed to another language
Right.
until middle school
Yeah.
or 8th grade. So you have already blocked that part.
Yep.
So some pronunciations that are kind of like uh, like in European languages, they how they say the different words and kind of sometimes rolling the tongue.
Hmm.
So those things are cannot don't develop. So
Yeah.
because we have taken away we have not given exposed them to that. And I very well remember my niece, she was in India, but like her babysitter was from some other language. She was going to some some school, and parents speak different language. So she was 4 years old, and she was speaking and four language.
That's awesome. And I mean, that's how it should be. It should be a requirement. And even like physical education, it's like
Yes.
they don't even have, they're not required to anymore. At least, like, I think even my sons, they weren't required to take physical education. So they could go walk around the track, and they get a credit for that. But it's like, and music and language and
Yep.
all of those things it seems like they've just been kind of squashed. Like, oh, that's not important. And I think
Ye-
that some of those things are the most important things, especially
Right.
at a young age, like you said, the
Yes.
age of 4, learning multiple languages
Yeah.
and having the ability to do it.
Right. And younger the child is, their brains are just like sponge. They absorb everything. So if we don't expose them, they're not going to absorb everything.
Yeah.
And so many things that they learn in the young age, they may or may not use it, but some point of time in their life, they will remember, and they will recollect that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So things.
And even one of your daughters, isn't she in like I want to say like quantum mechanics, but it's what does she do it?
She's aerospace aeronautical engineer.
Yeah, aerospace aeronautical engineer. I mean, that shows you how smart Divya is to work with the education system and implementing a new program. And then her daughter is like this amazing, talented aerospace aeronautical engineer.
Yeah.
What's her goal? Does she want to work for NASA or SpaceX or something?
She is working with the SpaceX.
Oh, look at that! Bam. She already is.
Yep. And recently, you know that like a commercial spacewalk happened. So she is on the Dragon team, and she built some hardware part, and those were on that Dragon.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah. So she was pretty excited about it, and I was visiting her in the mid of September. So she and just 2 weeks ago that spacewalk had happened, and it, the mission was very successful. So she was very excited, and they had parties
Yeah.
like their team parties and stuff. Like
And she's at UW, right?
no,
Oh,
she graduated from UW.
okay.
Now she's working with the
Oh, right,
SpaceX
right. Okay.
and in LA.
Okay. She's in California. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Nate, Mickey's youngest, he's in his 3rd year at UW.
Hmm.
He
Oh,
just he just left, but he's in computer engineering. So
okay. Good.
and
Nice.
he loves it.
Yeah. Anything kids do, um, as long as they love it, they are passionate about it, it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my older daughter is also engineer. So she works in Boston at a what do you call they make machines to for DNA studies.
For what studies?
DNA.
Oh,
Yeah. So she she's a industrial engineer, so she's on the process.
getting into gene splicing.
Yeah. So yeah, both of them are talented in their own ways, and yeah, they were all focused from the beginning, and older one is very artistic too in different ways. Um, her passion keeps changing towards different arts. And so she's she's very creative.
Yeah. What
Hmm.
did you do when you were young? That was your creative
Oh,
passion?
yeah. I used to sketch.
Sketch?
Yeah, sketch, and mostly I did the portraits. Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you still sketch at all?
Don't get any time anymore, and
I think you need to make some time. I would love to see some Divya sketches.
well, I have some pictures on my phone.
Oh, cool. We should have like a BNA, BNI art day. That would be
Oh,
really
that
cool.
would be good.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yep.
I was always a music geek, but I love to draw stuff too, like really weird stuff.
Oh,
My all my uncles in Norway were artists,
hmm.
and they and my cousin Tobias he works for a gaming company, electronic gaming company,
Mm-hmm.
designing characters and
Wow.
everything, and he's amazing. But he draws these like crazy troll, like just these amazing characters, and I just wish I could be able to draw or paint like that. But my passion was obviously
Yeah,
music.
that's why, we all have different passions, and every person's passion kind of combine in some ways, and that's why we have this community. That's how these societies are built. One does this, one does that, and you see, everybody cannot grow rice,
Yeah.
everybody cannot bake bread, but everybody cannot do what you are doing. This amazing thing. So that's how we are supplementing each other
Yeah.
in many different ways.
I,
So yeah.
I've really learned that my passion, like I started in video production and filming and cameras and all that stuff. I started because I didn't have my passion was music, and I wasn't. My previous career was a professional musician. I didn't have that outlet, and so being able to do what I do now is pretty cool. But I've learned so much that I love trying to. I love this. I love
Hmm.
just helping tell people's story and ask them questions and kind of pull things and information out, because that to me is this it's like painting a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me about did you take any um like lessons, or kind of to learn about this music, or was just
Oh, music?
yeah.
Yeah, music. So I had a classical guitar when I was 10,
Mm-hmm.
third grade. So that would,
Yeah, third grade.
yeah, like maybe 8 or 9.
Hmm.
And uh, when I got into middle school, junior high,
Hmm.
in 6th grade, I wanted to play saxophone, and then I wanted to switch to trumpet, and I also picked up the bass guitar.
Wow.
So I pretty much played all horned instruments
Mm-hmm.
through junior high and high school. And but my passion and love was the bass, and so I was in like jazz choir, jazz band, and then after high school, I went and studied music composition and jazz studies,
Hmm.
and at a community college. And then I went to Western Washington University on a scholarship and studied under Chuck Israels, who was a famous upright bass player. He played with John Coltrane and Bill Evans and some amazing jazz guys. And then I reconnected with some high school junior high friends of mine, and we formed a rock band, and then we got signed to Sony, and then led me down this whole path. And I still play a little bit,
Hmm.
but like I just did a show in Seattle about 6 months ago,
Hmm.
6 months ago, and we try to play at least once a year together, like do a reunion show.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then Sunday I'm actually going to jam with a local band. That is a pretty cool project. I'll let you know more about that a little later, but it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I still have that passion, and I think I'll always have that. But really, getting into production and directing and producing is really where I want to kind of
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
spread my wings and get into.
Yeah. So, like for my art, and like that was just like sketching, but I was also doing like other creative art, like crochet and knitting and sewing and lots of things like that,
Yeah,
and singing.
singing.
Yes.
Yeah, you love to sing. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, but like I I practiced and I listened and I like so Indian Bollywood music.
I love Indian Bollywood music. I love
So
it.
that's the only thing I can sing. But
That's so cool.
people like don't understand when I'm singing, but like yeah, like uh, that's all I can sing though.
Oh,
But
that's
I never had any formal training
yeah.
for either singing or never got a chance.
I think a lot of people don't know what Bollywood is. It's like they assume, but it's so amazing just to watch the singing and the dancing and it just the movies.
Yeah.
It's like they can be so like the plot can be so minute, right? But that doesn't really matter because it's all about singing and dancing, and it just becomes this musical.
Sometimes those plots are like that, but not always. Like some movies are made with the musical theme, and um, they are like especially specifically for like doing a lot of like music, and then some some movies don't have a single song in it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of mix, and some songs and dance just makes the movie a little bit lighter too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Do you like Ravi Shankar?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And a lot of people don't know this too, but Nora Jones is Ravi Shankar's daughter, right?
Oh, I
Yeah, I think so.
okay. No, I don't.
You know who Nora Jones is?
I
Come
didn't
away
know.
with me. Yeah.
But yeah, no, Ravi Shankar is a great musician.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, there are so many like across the world in every culture in a lot of countries. There are amazing music artists. So whether whatever instruments they start playing and
Yeah.
yeah.
I would love to learn how to play the sitar. But wow, that's got to be so hard.
Well, I don't know because I didn't learn to play that.
Yeah.
I tried learning to play piano, but like so the most very common one is not a like piano, but like harmonium. Do you know what a harmonium is?
Uh-huh.
Not the harmonica with the
Right.
no, not that.
Right.
When you play and the wind
Mhm.
too. Yeah. So that I was learning from my mom.
Oh wow.
Yeah, my mom used to be a music teacher.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So she used to teach like um, at a college level, classical music, vocal and harmonium both.
Well, then of course you became a singer.
Well, I think I just got that genetically, but
Yeah.
um, I didn't get a chance to learn from my mom though. Like just maybe here and there
Mhm.
tidbits, but not real formal lesson from my mom. Yeah.
Well, I want to kind of bring us back. It was awesome to learn more about you and be able to share I love being able to do one-to-ones this way because it's not, I mean, what we learn about each other is awesome, right? And
Yeah.
how to be able to refer each other. But
Mm.
I think a lot of times the one-to-ones, we lose that personal, like the personal side. I don't know. For me, it's like we'll talk about business and how to refer each other, and but for me, it's like so important to know people on a personal level and things
Yes.
that they love and enjoy and things in their past and where they grew up and just things like that. To me, it's just it's part of the story,
Yeah.
and so I love being able to do one-to-ones this way. You
No,
weren't
that's
nervous,
good.
were you?
No.
Yeah, you weren't nervous at all because you always
No.
told me I'm nervous. I don't want to be in front of the camera.
No, it was like okay, what you said, like, having one to one this way. So sometimes with me, what happens, um, we get into personal or something so much deeper into the conversation, we go away from business.
Yeah, well, exactly. And I mean, that's why it's like I'd love to be able to obviously start with,
Business.
business and then go into the personal because, uh, it's fun. Like the barbecue that when I first joined and having the barbecue at your house, and
Mhm.
there was, I don't know, there was like 15, 18 people there, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was the newbie. I was like the new kid that didn't know where to sit at lunch at school. Even though I still knew a few people. But that to me is so important to be able to have that connection. And I think that's what really makes our chapter even stronger is to be able to have these connections
Yeah.
and be able to know how to support each other, not just on, a business level and referrals, but to be able to know, okay,
Yeah.
now I know Divya. I know who she is as a person.
Right. And these are the some of the things, like, when we are doing like every Thursday BNI meeting, we are just like, few minutes. We're not even connecting.
Right.
Um, and in the beginning, like, they open either like the breakout rooms or in-person meeting. Also, we have 10 minutes in the beginning, but like that doesn't give much of time.
No.
You do want to talk with many other people too, but these kind of events, like the barbecue I hosted, and then some bowling events that Jessica was doing before, and few.
Christmas party things and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
So those are the kind of things, like, they bring us uh, closer and, like, at a personal level. So we are not talking, like, and that gives that a personal touch. We know each other. We know the personality. We know, okay, what will work for the other person or not. So gives a little bit um, better, and makes us feel like a family.
Yeah. Very much so. That continually grows with new kids. Well, thank
Yep.
you so much for coming in here and taking this time to have a one-to-one in front of the cameras and
Oh, sure.
with the lights on and you know
Lights, camera, action.
lights, camera, action.
Yeah.
Divya Jain, Team Logic IT, Marty Meissner, Triple M Productions.
Thank you.
Thanks, Divya.